Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how I mixed and mastered this track.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro. Thought it was your chargy, but he's talking to the plain clothes.
Right, in the future video I'll be showing you how I edited and shot that music video. Okay, so without further ado, here I am in FL Studio 20. I've kind of disabled all the effects, so we're gonna play the track raw and see how it sounds like with no effects. Okay, because you kind of already heard it when it was with effects. Okay, cool. Let's play. Okay, so let's play from just here.
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the
That's the verse. Let's play a bit of the chorus or the hook.
Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit.
Okay, now we've played a bit of how it sounds like with nothing, with no effects enabled per se. We're gonna enable all the effects quickly, and after I'm gonna kind of break down the mixer, the playlist, and everything else. Okay, so this is how with effects now.
Oh, lack and protect your jaw. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. I ain't never been on court.
Okay, right, let's get started. Okay, so the playlist, how it was recorded, I use the UK Dual Vocal Preset Pack 3rd edition. I use that template as a base, okay, and that's why you can see, if you're looking at it, it looks familiar because I use that preset. The preset pack is free, so you go check it out. You get the templates here. Okay, so of course the beat has to, let's close this of course first now. The beat has to be the first one there, and this channel here is where I record everything, how I actually recorded the tracks itself. So every time I recorded something, I just dragged it down to its specific channel, okay, or track here. Okay, the lead vocal, like initially, like, okay, let's just start from the intro. Okay, there was no intro effects per se. I mean, there was just tags for the producer, for the beat makers, and I added my mix tag here. So essentially, let's play it from here. So
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
How you
okay, so my mix tag, then after it goes into the stutters, then into the lead vocal. The premise of this track, the lead vocal, we just kind of record just the lead vocal, no ad libs, no vocal dubs on the lead vocal. When it came to the hook, that's when we actually introduced the vocal dubs, and I think we didn't actually add any ad libs again, but it was just vocal dubs to kind of make it sound larger and bigger. So you can see the lead vocal here for the hook, and then after the vocal dubs here, we recorded left channel and right channel. Okay, so if we play the lead vocal, I don't know, let me kind of go through the playlist, continue going through the playlist, then I'll go to the mixer and show you the effects thereof. Okay, we added the stutter bus. If you don't know about stutters and the stutter bus, check out the card above to watch a video on how to actually do stutters in FL Studio 20. Similar principle and concept with other DAWs. Okay, now stutter left, stutter right. This is how it sounds like.
how you talking all
It's just a cleaner way of actually doing stutters. Okay, I added a few stutters here throughout the whole track. You can see this bit here. When you open up this track, if you were to open up this track, you would understand what's going on, because everything is kind of neatly organized in that sense. Okay, so lead vocal, and then the hook here, and then of course I think this bit here is like added like a automation to add reverb into this specific phrase.
snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I
Okay. Okay, so that's the track there. Added some not beat manipulation, but I cut out some of the beat in some certain phrases. So that's how everything looks like on the mixer playlist rather, not the mixer, on the playlist. Then this bit here, of course, I think the vocals were embedded into the beat when the artist sent it, when the artist brought it over here to me.
I tell you what, you know my thing, what you rating it?
Hey, come on, my
So yeah, I didn't actually mix that bit there. I think the artist did it first, then after.
serious.
Gonna bring everyone in. What sort of talk?
So yeah, the track overall is actually a simple track in terms of the mixing and mastering. It actually took it was quick recording process as well. So that was that there. So now let's go to the mixer and have to kind of break the things down further on from there. Okay. Now we're on the mixer. We have the mixer open up here, and similar concept. The UK Dual Vocal Preset Pack 3rd edition template here. You can see recording stutter left, stutter right into the stutter bus here. Mix tag, reverb send, and delay send. Lead vocals, vocal dubs, vocal bus, the beat, etc. Okay, let's start off the lead vocal, okay, because I think that's what is interesting to hear. So I'm going to mute the beat for now. and just play the lead vocal without anything else. So just solely the lead vocal. And let me take out the reverb for now, and also just the effects as well. So I'll leave the master bus effects on. Actually, now take it off for now. Okay, so this is the lead vocal.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days.
Okay, so that's how it sounds like then with the effects of the lead vocal. So I used this compressor. This is the R compressor from Waves.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes.
And also with the hook as well, basically the whole lead vocal, because this type of track it is, I afforded to actually just kind of keep everything into one channel for the lead vocal. So even the hook is running through this lead vocal as well. Okay, the lead vocal of the hook, or the lead part of the hook, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's the compressor there. You can see, let's play it without it one more time. Without it.
Turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake bite.
It's compressing quite significantly. Then after did that compression, I added this EQ. Okay, this EQ, if I can open it up, if it wants to open up, here we go. Great. So this EQ here, all it is kind of just taming that, took out some of the low end, and then did I really do this? I actually increased some of the highs there. Oh, because initially it sounded like this. So I'll play without the compressor.
Turn snake for money.
So I think I enabled all of them both at the same time. So let's play without.
Turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro.
Then with the compressor.
Turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro.
Okay, so this is what I did here. So in this bit here, I think I added a dynamic EQ.
Turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro.
And it's basically, from what I can see it's doing, it's taming a lot of the high end, and actually a lot of the higher mid-range as well.
Turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro. Thought it was your chargy, but he's talking to the plain clothes. Maybe you should change, bro. I know I'm not the same though. I really got my mum. When I'm up, she won't take long.
Okay, so that's what that's doing there. If we go to the vocal dubs now, see, you can kind of see how I use the templates, how a lot of the template stuff are actually still being included. The vocal dubs, I think that's only for the hook now. Okay, so if we go to the hook bit then, and actually just solo the vocal dub quickly, or the hook left, and mute the reverb. So let's just play. It's gonna be panned hard left and panned hard right. Let's take off the effects for now. Let's increase the volume. Let's copy this value so that when we do decrease it back, we can actually hear it in its effects, or the effect that we kind of added to it.
Funny how shit's change. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to no money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to no money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's change.
Okay, that's just the vocal dubs. On the vocal dub itself, I didn't actually add any effects on the hook left, hook right dubs, but I added effects on here. So if we put this back into the value it was before, the first thing I added, of course, was some EQ, and it's just the EQ here on the vocal dubs EQ.
Funny how shit's change.
Let's enable that. Let's disable these ones.
Funny how shit's change. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to no money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to no money, and I don't need types of wedding rings.
So essentially what that is doing is kind of making it sound different and unique, so it doesn't clash with the lead vocal. And that's essentially what I did here. So if we play the other effects now, then after we'll play it in comparison with the lead vocal itself, we'll see what's going on. The next plugin I added was the Ozone Imager 2. This Ozone Imager 2 just kind of spreads it out. So in the stereo field, it's a free plugin. I recommend it all the time, a lot. Okay, so this is how it sounds like. Sounds like there's more vocals now. Married to the money. Okay. Funny how. Okay, so that's that there. Then of course added a compressor, just a Fruity compressor. Okay, and I just kind of set the threshold to this and the ratio to that. Compresses it. Essentially what that did is reduce the dynamics, so it's not sounding so the ranges of the highs and the lows, not in terms of the pitch but in terms of the amplitude, I believe are kind of contained, so that way it allows the lead vocal itself to have more of that flexibility within the mix, and the vocal dubs are basically supporting background vocals, So they're there to kind of support the lead vocal. So now it'll make all sense, a lot more sense once I play it with the lead vocal. So with the lead vocal or with just the hook as a whole. So this is how it sounds like.
Can protect your jaw. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding ring.
You can also hear that because the vocal dubs are kind of spread out to the side, you can kind of tell that, oh, there was space in the middle, so there was space created in the middle for the lead vocal, and that's a kind of nice, cool trick. Sometimes when I do record vocal dubs with artists, I just record one vocal dub recording with them, and I think this is actually a cool way to actually go about actually making sure, number one, there's much more space. If you hard pan left, hard pan right, and they kind of EQ them in a certain way, then you can create much more space and kind of sound a bit more lush. So that's that there. Let's play it one more time.
Can protect your jaw. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. I ain't never been on corners. I ain't selling to the cats.
Okay, and then of course the lead vocal comes in again like that, but I really like the effect that vocal dubs gives or has, because also when the hook comes in, you know it's the hook, because every other part of the song itself, like just the verses itself, you can tell there's a what I'm trying to say is that when the hook comes in, you know it's the hook because it changes kind of drastically in a sense like that. Okay, my mix tag itself, let me show you some of the effects that I added on there on the mix tag itself. So without the effects, it sounds like this.
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
Okay, I just, because basically I have two versions on my mix tag. The full version is this.
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix? This is cold.
I saved that bit for the last for the outro. So the first bit is just, hey Cole, is that you in the mix?
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
Okay, so the effects I added were EQ, of course. I think this was supposed to be for like ad-libs preset, but I just kind of increased a lot of the lower end presence.
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
So that's the first EQ. Of course, it sounds hella compressed because I wanted to kind of go for that. And then this is the compressor.
Yo, Cole, is that you in the mix?
And then this is the de-esser, because it kind of needs de-essing.
Is that you in the mix?
Okay, so that's that my mix tag there. Let's
How
show
you talking all the real, then
let's show you the reverb now. Okay, so the reverb, what's going on the reverb? Simple. If you check out the YayaorJb vocal preset pack, I made plenty of videos explaining kind of this process here. So the reverb itself, I first added I added two types of reverbs actually. I added the Fruity reverb 2, then I blended it in with this Valhalla vintage verb. Okay, after I blended that together, this is the type of effect the reverb gives. Okay, so in each of the, and I also added delay as well, like this. Okay, so delay, added Fruity delay, just a preset. Okay, so in each of this, for example, the lead vocal, I sent a signal from the lead vocal itself to the reverb. Okay, and initially it sounds like this. So if we just solo the lead vocal and the vocal dubs, I think even the vocal dubs I added more reverb as well. So initially here, the blend was the type of blend I was looking for is the vocal dubs or background vocals. I wanted to have more reverb. Okay, especially only when the hook comes in, of course, that's when more reverb was kind of added. But let's listen to it on the verse side of things.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how the game goes. Snake by your main bro.
Also, you should be able to hear that there's some delay as well if you're listening kind of closely up. Okay, so if you look at the reverb settings itself, the Fruity reverb itself, these are the settings of the Fruity reverb. I kind of put the dry signal down, wet value here, decay. Just look at it. Okay, I think that's easiest way. Just look at it. Okay. There's the settings there. The Valhalla vintage verb, that's where I kind of used a bit more of that. So I kind of combined the two reverbs to kind of give it a different type of sound, I guess. But it sounds more like an echo holy type of vintage verb. And yeah, so these are settings. Basically decay 3.87. Set the pre-delay to the tempo itself. Okay. Mix value is 100% because we're only sending a signal from the lead vocal into the reverb itself. Okay. And of course, I EQ'd it a bit here. Also EQ'd it a bit here. I don't want to EQ it totally where it's like I'm cutting out everything, but the EQs, you know, is there, and it sounds right because the mix value itself for the lead vocal is only this much. Okay, so it's good to use sounds like this. Okay, then when the vocal dubs come in, so let's play the hook again.
Can protect your jaw. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me.
Okay, it's not like it's in your face, washy, but it's in the background. You can tell it kind of supports. Also on the reverb and the delay on the sense itself, I added this stereo separation, so it's 100% stereo separated. And the same thing this one here. This one is just a preset. So if you check out the preset or you check out the video on the preset, YayaorJb Vocal Preset Pack 3rd edition, you'll see that I talk about that quite a lot. Okay, here this other channel is called the Automated Delay and Reverb. So I think I mainly just used it for the verse, no, for the hook. So let's see how it actually plays out. So here, this bit here.
I think they envy me, married to the money.
That's right. Okay, so I kind of used it to kind of give me to kind of emulate some ad libs in a sense. Okay, so basically what I did, each part I wanted it to kind of happen to kind of give it some space, because sometimes if I didn't add that, let's play it.
I think they envy me, married to the money.
Not that it would have been bad, but it just kind of gave it a bit more flavor. The fact that it kind of repeated, you know, because we didn't actually record any ad libs. So essentially, we didn't want it to be for every single thing, so we just added for some things, so some words, and we added the H delay here. Of course, the H delay. So okay, let's just play the H delay. I also added compression and a reverb. So let's play with the H delay.
I think they envy me, married to the money. And I think they envy me, married.
So for this one here,
I think they envy me, married.
So I automated. If I go to lead vocal, I automated the send value. So right click, create automation clip, and I kind of just automated it, and I just kind of copied that throughout the whole song, and that's the way I kind of automated it.
I think they envy me, married to the money.
Yeah, it's better to do it this way instead of don't automate the faders per se, unless it's at the master bus fader that you kind of want to automate it to kind of finish off at. But automated it this way so that it can just be for specific phrases that I can also copy and paste the actual automation clip itself, and I like doing it that way. Okay, also do the same thing with the same concept with this with vocal sensors as well. So that's that effect there. Delay here, it's like a ping pong delay, I believe, is it? How can I see that? Yeah, ping pong here. Okay, and then
I think they envy me, married to them.
So that's the first thing that's going on. After that delay, I added some reverb, and this is the type of reverb I have here. It's like a chamber reverb, and let's play that.
I think they envy me, married to the money, and I don't. I think they envy me, married to the money.
And it's so slight and subtle, so you probably might not be able to hear it as much, but the mix value is at 30%. After that, I added some compression. And that's why I added the compression, because it wasn't loud enough. I was thinking, hey, what's going on? It's not as loud. But then I added this compressor. Then I literally just kind of increased the gain, just compressed it a bit more.
I think they envy me, married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings.
Yeah.
I think they envy me, married to the money, and I don't need types
just
of
subtle, okay? And then after it comes in again here.
Stinks. I think they envy me, married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding.
Then after, when the verse comes in again, around here it comes in.
That's the rock with my slats. Nah. There's no cap in my...
See, it really made sense to add it there. Then after I added it again here.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, and that one there I kind of made unique and kind of increased it a bit more. So it's louder than the other ones, okay? Then I think I did it again here. It's basically, wherever you see this bit here, this channel here, lead vox, this green, blue thing.
My high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of stinks. I think they envy me, married to the money.
Okay, so that's that there. Let's move on to the stutter bus itself. Let's see what type of effects I added there. Nothing. That's interesting. I just kind of sent it out, the signal to the delay and the reverb bus itself. I thought I would have added some compression, but I think it sounds alright just like that, because I think it's also routed into the vocal bus and the volume is not as loud. So not much processing was required per se. Could have, but it didn't. I also added some EQ here. You can see the EQ bit settings there. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Let's play a bit the stutters. Let's play it from here.
And I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was...
I like the way it coming. It's just so subtle, especially within the whole song itself. It's a subtle way of coming in. Okay, so that's the majority of what's going on there. I kind of broke down and showed you everything. Now let's go to the vocal bus, because that's where the majority of the magic or the glue kind of happens. Okay, there's another thing I was going to show. This bit here. This is the mix value. So if I play that, I think that was this on. This is on the vocal mix bus. So okay, let's play the vocal mix bus. I'll show you that afterwards, because I think that's part of the vocal mix bus. Okay, so that's how everything sounds like without the vocal mix bus. Let's play it with the beat now, without the vocal mix bus effects applied.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how they get.
Okay, so that's that there. Now with the vocal bus applied, or with the effects now, let's look at it. Let's play it now.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how...
Okay, so the first thing I added for the vocal bus was this EQ, and this is the Fab Filter Pro EQ. Just EQ'd it like this. So let's kind of solo all the, not solo, take off all the other effects as well. I didn't enable this one, so I need to remember that.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy...
I wanted to give it a bit more clarity after EQing a lot of the high end out with the other dynamic EQ that I added here. Kind of just kind of tame the low end, just kind of give it more of a natural flavor or natural vibe. Get the EQ sounding like trying to match how the artist actually sounds like in real life. I think that's one of the most important things. Okay. After that, I added the RVox here. Interesting move I did here. RVox added it here.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against
gives it a bit more crunch, like that.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain. It used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas.
Okay, after I did that, I added the DSR. This DSR, basic waves DSR.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain. It used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas play. Guys will turn snake for money. I pray for better days. This is how they get.
Cool. After that DSR, just a simple DSR. I added this again. I added this dynamic EQ again. Let's see what it's doing. See what it's doing.
How you talking all the real, then suddenly against the grain. It used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these.
So in what I can see it's doing here, it's kind of taming a bit more of the high end as well, almost acting as a DSR again, and just a bit of the low end or low mid range here. It's kind of doing something there. So basically, the chain here is looking like EQ'd, compressed it so it can sound a bit more commercial or a bit more thickened, I guess. And then after I de-essed it with an actual DSR, the waves DSR. After this, I kind of tamed a bit more the high end there. And you can see eventually I add the C4. So let's see what I did with the C4 there. Okay, that's what I did here. Then through to parametric EQ2. This is the effect I was going to show you guys before earlier. Basically, all it is, it enables itself.
Niggas play, guys will turn snake from stack, so I'm glad music came through. Do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit.
Okay, so I automated the mix value itself. So, but essentially, just listen to this and let's hear it out, and you see what it's doing.
Came through, do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types.
So basically, it kind of automated it so that it kind of gives it like a high pass filter. When it comes in.
Came through, do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types.
Or low pass filter, I believe. So basically, yeah, that type of telephone effect as it comes in, then after it goes back in, fades out into just a normal effect. Okay. After I added this C4, okay, the C4 multiband processor. Let's play that.
Came through, do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money.
I added this so I can kind of control the whole song or the whole vibe of the vocals itself. See, not much going on actually up here, and it's just more the low end stuff there. So I guess I kind of just use that to kind of control it a bit more. I like adding it. It gives it a certain flavor to the track, also the vocals itself.
Came through, do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how
like it has like the vocals have like a shine to it, like a nice sheeny type of shine to it, which is good. I added this API 2500 stereo before, but I don't think I actually applied it, so it was actually muted. So let me see how it sounds like with it and see if there was something I did to it before.
Then suddenly against the grain, it used to piss me off like every other rainy day. Come to realization that this is how these niggas.
Okay, so it basically compressed the vocals a bit more and gave it more for a fast, like the attack. It was like it really, yeah, it had like a faster attack. It was basically smacking the vocals in a sense. But I didn't feel like it was necessary or it added to it too tough, so that's why I think I removed it. Okay, let's move on to the master bus. Let's enable everything first, then after we kind of break it down. Okay, let's play it from this part of the hook.
I'm tryna make it out. Do it for my mum and my sis and my aunts too. Chilling with the same niggas. Fuck it, bro, like who are you? Won a couple stacks, so I'm glad music came through. Do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team, always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team.
Okay, so initially, if you know I was saying this again, the UKG Vocal Freestyle Black 3rd edition, you know that the master bus compression, EQ sweetener, and limiter, those are all templated effects that I added. Okay, so you guys can actually go and use that or not. But I decided, you know what, I don't want to use stock plugins per se only, so I decided to add SSL comp and Ozone 9 elements. That's what I added here. So this is how it sounds like with the SSL.
I'm tryna make it out. Do it for my mum and my sis and my aunts too. Chilling with the same niggas. Fuck it, bro, like who are you? Won a couple stacks, so I'm glad music came through. Do it for my fam, who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's
basically a master bus compressor. So essentially just compressing the whole track as a whole, and it gives it a certain tone, which I like how it compresses everything as a whole. Okay, just a few decibels of compression, you know, not so much. I don't like to overdo it with that compressor there. Then I added the Ozone 9 elements. You guys know kind of plugins I use at this point. As Ozone 9 elements. I know there's better plugins to possibly be using. but I like to kind of use what I use, and kind of once you kind of get comfortable or familiar with the plugins a set of plugins that you kind of use it to your advantage. Only upgrade when you need to, or if you find or if it makes sense to upgrade, you know. So anyway, this is the O's and 9 elements. This is how it sounds like, and then this is what it did. EQ a bit here, just the low end there, same to more the high end. I just used the master assistant, and then after kind of did what it did. So this is the settings. Let's play it.
I'm tryna make it out. Do it for my mum and my sis and my aunts too. Chilling with the same niggas. Fuck it, bro, like who are you? Won a couple stacks, so I'm glad music came through. Do it for my fam who watch from my high view. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team. Always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Funny how shit's changed. You was hating on the team. Always seeing different types of snakes. I think they envy me. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. Married to the money, and I don't need types of wedding rings. VM.
What you telling me about, bro?
It's cold, a lie.
Bro, this my Shelly.
You know. Whoosh.
Is that you in the mix? This is cool.
Okay. So yeah, that was the track there. That's the master bus there. That was literally everything. The track itself was actually kind of a simple track itself. It literally took 3 hours and 5 minutes, I think, from from recording to mixing, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't take too long. Because everything was kind of already, in a sense, sounded good from when we recorded it. So the process of actually mixing it, mixed a lot of it with the artist in the studio itself, and that's how it kind of went down. But you know, that's the video in a nutshell. Just goes to show that yeah, you can mix with what you have. I recommend mix with the plugin sets, the sets of plugins you have. When it makes sense to upgrade, you can do so. But if your mixes sound good by just using a few plugins rather than using a lot, then hey, go ahead, because sometimes less is more. You know, the less plugins you use, the better it sounds at times. But at the end of the day, keep learning and keep on actually trying to improve your mixes and your mastering skills, your mixing and mastering skills. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to also watch the video, like the video, and comment on the music video itself. Link also in the description, and it will be in the comments as well, so you guys can easily find it. Okay. Also, be doing a music video editing breakdown, so I'll be showing you guys how I actually edited the footage thereof. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.